Hey guys, Nay here, and guess what? You asked for it and you get it. Today I am using the Happy Day kit from Felicity Jane, and I'm doing a 12 by 12 process video for you. The origin of this layout came from a lovely layout that Elsie had done over on her channel, Hey Elsie, and it was a beautiful dream catcher layout. As always, her style is so beautiful and so perfect, I didn't want to scrap lift it and change it in any way. And so I decided to just look around on Pinterest for some scrapbook layouts that were Dreamcatcher related, and I found this really beautiful layered Dreamcatcher layout, and so I'm scrap lifting it instead. And I really do love how this turned out. It was a lot more mixed media than I like, and so I've of course taken my own twist on the layout, customized it and made it more Hey Nay Daily like. So what I'm doing is I'm just creating the layers here with the pattern paper, that beautiful cornflower blue with the flowers, and then the coloured cardstock, and using both sides of it. And then I'm just evening out the top with the beautiful uneven polka dot, which is like my favourite paper out of the whole kit. So it kind of hurt me a bit to use that much of it, and it's really strange, like ripping into these papers felt like I was committing a crime. I loved them so much and just felt wrong to be ripping paper, and ripping it is not something I normally do, so it was very strange, very odd. What I'm deciding to do here is, now that I've got my layers how I like it, I am going to add some gesso, because I thought I might do some watercolour in the background, but then I thought if I don't, then I am just going to have it toned down and it will give it that kind of mixed media look without being super mixed media like, and just adds an extra layer. I do regret putting as much gesso as I did on this bottom piece. It just stands out way too much and it's just not cool. So now I'm marking out the circle that I cut off my cameo, and I'm just cutting a quarter of it off. And now I am wrapping this ring with some sort of tinsel like twine, and then some of the gold twine that I got from Kmart. These were amazing packs. I think it was 5 sets of twine for $8, and they are so beautiful and so lovely and just really a pleasure. I go in with the 2 lighter colours, and then I think about adding in the gold just to make it a little bit more special, but it looks too Christmassy and I take the gold off very quickly. It's not what I'm looking for at all. Okay, so to finish that off, I'm just going to tape down the backs, but little did I know that it doesn't adhere very well because it's washi tape on textured twine, so I do add some glue to that in the end and stick it down on the layout, and it's working fine. I am actually doing a bit of a Sue's fish here and using some of the packaging that came with the kit, and I'm using the welcome card that came with a little intro from Sue's, and I just love that bright pink gingham, so I use that as a layer down the side of my photo. But first I am just playing around with the Dreamcatcher and thinking about what I'm going to put behind it. I end up going for the polka dot tulle that I always have in my stash, but then I thought I would break it up with this doily, and I do like how that looks. But in the end, I do come back and change it up a bit because it's just too much going on with all the layers and everything. So now I'm going to work on the layers, finally. Just playing around, save that other piece of paper for next time, and what I'm going to do is work more with the pinks for the layering of this one, just so there is a bit of contrast between the blue background and the pink on the layers. I'm using a journaling card, some of the packaging, some of the cardstock that came with the kit, and then some pattern papers as well. I do add in a doily, I think, at some stage, just playing around with those and seeing how they look, and I do decide in the end to tear down the side of that light pink layer just to give it a little bit of connection to the layers on the bottom of the layer, adding in that polka dot paper that I absolutely love, and then thinking I might come in with some of the polka dot tissue paper just because, you know, I've got so much of it and you know me, I've got to use it all up. So adding that in there and just folding it a bit to give it a bit of texture and a bit of dimension. And now I'm just sticking all of my layers together. There goes that gold doily, adding that in there. And I do love how that turns out. I add in a little tag down the bottom just for a little bit more interest. So I know there's quite a few of you that like to hear the story behind my photos and my layouts, and this one is really simple and really easy. I just wanted to create a layout that celebrates my sister. She is 7 years younger than me and she is so amazing. She has this little boy and she is raising him by herself, and it's just such an inspiration because you don't ever expect like your siblings, your younger brothers or sisters to, I never saw my sister as that kind of person, but she has just grown into this amazing woman. And I am so proud of everything that she's done this year and had to go through this year. And I just wanted to create this little layout just to sort of celebrate how amazing she is. The one thing I am very proud of is how far my layering has come. I couldn't really layer very well when I first started doing 12 by 12 scrapbooking, and it's just becoming easier and easier every time, and I love it. I love the final look. Added some foam behind that photo just to give it a little bit of extra dimension. And now I'm going to start sticking down my layers on the background. This is completely odd for me. I am not one to do full patterned paper backgrounds. It's just not me. It's too busy. But I do like how this one turns out in the end, believe it or not. And what I'm doing is basically sticking down as much of it as I can and then lifting up the edges to give it a bit of extra dimension. Popping in some doilies in between the layers, as well as some gorgeous lace that I got from the Scrapbook Expo earlier in the year and haven't used on anything, so I'm glad that I was finally able to use some of that in here. Sizing down that last piece because I figured that I was using too much of this paper and I needed to try and save some because I love it that much. Adding on that top piece now, and all those beautiful patterns on the back I am losing, which is really sad, but oh well. Love the polka dot paper just that little bit more. Now I'm adding in the bits and pieces, the doily and the dream catcher part, and I'm just playing around with some embellishments behind the photo, making it look more like a wreath. And now we go into the feathers. I cut these feathers from my Cameo using the different pinks from the paper. Now I'm playing with some paint here, thinking I was going to do some coral coloured polka dots, but I just can't seem to mix the colour right, and I don't really want to use it if it's not the right shade of pink, because that coral colour is very, very, very strong. And so now I'm playing with my watercolours instead and seeing what we come up with. And I do find this nice corally colour that does match quite well. And I do a few light ink splatters, nothing too serious. Quite a few actually, but nothing huge. I think I need a bigger paintbrush. I don't know. This mixed media thing is totally foreign to me. But now I'm throwing in a bit of lace in the layers as well, just to continue on that lace and tulle from the Dreamcatcher up above. Once layering all of the Dreamcatcher bits and pieces together, I realised that I don't need that doily in there. It's just unnecessary and adding too much to the layout. It's already got so much going on. So I just stick down the hoop instead, and I add the tiniest bit of the doily above, but then realise I don't like it at all, so just get rid of it completely and we're all good to go. Now I'm sticking down my photo with the leaves and making it look a bit like a wreath. And now I'm coming back in with those feathers and rearranging them for the second time. I fussed around with these quite a bit, and in the end I am actually happy with how they turn out. Adding in a little bit more of the lace in there just to replicate it on both sides, make it even. Now I'm adding some foam to the top and bottom of that photo because I just found that it sunk on either side and I wanted it to be quite even. So just touching those up underneath just to give it that little bit more dimension and to make it nice and flat. And then what I'm doing for the ribbons of the Dreamcatcher, I am actually wrapping them around the feathers, sticking them on the back, and then popping the ribbons up underneath the photo. When I say ribbons, I actually mean twine. I'm using the same twine that I used to wrap around the Dreamcatcher, the frame at the beginning, and then I'm also coming in with some white embroidery thread, and I can't remember what else. I think that's all I use. But what I'm doing is I'm letting the excess string come back out from underneath the photo and just give it that little bit extra, make it look like there are a few more strings coming out of the Dreamcatcher. The original layout did have some beads hanging off them, but I don't have any of those in my stash, so we're just keeping it very simple and just, there's so much going on already. It doesn't need more, so we're just going to keep it as it is. This is quite a full-on layout, like I've said, for me. many a times. I'm now adhering the feathers down. Some of those white ones I just pop up underneath the photo and don't even stick them under. And that is basically it, guys. I do add in a title down the bottom there using the puffy stickers and the puffy alpha from the kit. I do add in some of my own bling and a few wood veneer stars, but that is pretty much it. I think I had some sequins as well from the kit. Do a bit of sewing across the title. I actually really liked how that looked with the puffiness. And that is it. Simple, simple, simple. If you want to see more of these beautiful photos, jump on over to the blog where you can check out the close-ups. The link is down below in the description. Don't forget to give me a huge thumbs up if you love this layout. Shout out in the comments down below. I love hearing from you guys, and the comments lately have been so amazing. Thank you so much. And if you aren't already, subscribe to the channel. Keep up to date with everything that's happening over in the Hey Nay Daily universe. I love you all, guys. See you on Thursday with a haul video. Love you guys. Bye bye.